Yes, everybody, Russell, the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. If you're new around here, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to comment, like, share, all that good stuff. This morning, I gave you my 5 reasons why I'm now excited about the season ahead. And Anton spoke about this afternoon, about the Mohamed Kudus information around his release clause. Yes, it was active, but apparently it was active up until the 1st of July. Now it isn't active again until next summer. So bit of good news for a change. But it's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. 3 stories. One about a potential signing, unsurprisingly. One about not a familiar face, but a welcomed addition to the preseason, and then a little bit about the potential US investors. We'll leave it like that. I think that's probably the best way to do it. So let's start with talking about another link, another player. It's another day, it's another dollar. Therefore, it means another player we've been linked with. And this one is, he's actually on his way home. It's a Scottish international defender, Jack Hendry. We believe in Jack Hendry. I've done it. I've done the social post ready for the West Ham media team if they if we do sign him. But apparently, according to sources, West Ham want to sign Scottish defender Jack Hendry from the Saudi Pro League club El Ettifaq. I believe they were one of the sides interested in Mikel Antonio last summer. He's 29 though, but he's wanted. He looks good for 29 if that's true. But he's wanted by both the Hammers and fellow Premier League sides Fulham and Leicester City after just 1 season in Saudi Arabia. He also has suitors in the SPL as well, namely Al Nazir and Al Ittihad. However, having returned home early from the Euros after Scotland were eliminated in the group stages, Hendry was the only foreign player not to miss a single minute in last season's Saudi Pro League. And obviously with the Iron support looking for defensive reinforcements, they may have to move quickly to sign the former Club Rouge man. I mean, he was at Celtic as well and Club Brugge before signing for the Saudi Pro League. But he's never played in the regular top 5 leagues in Europe, and 30-odd Saudi Pro League appearances to his name. It's not the greatest resume in the world. I imagine he wouldn't come with a massive price tag. Now, I'm not saying he would be the answer to our centre-back problems, but again, it's providing cover, and it's something that Tim spoke about in his press conference yesterday with Julien, in looking to improve the squad in all departments. Don't know. It's a bit of a random one, but if anything, just for the memes, just for the Joe Hendry memes, I believe in Jack. Is that Jack Hendry? He looks very good for 29. Jack Hendry. Yeah. Is he really 29? Yeah, he is. He looks good for it. He looks good for it. He must moisturise. Anyway, let's move on and talk about another Scot, but a Scot who's going to be welcomed with open arms tomorrow when obviously the pre-season starts for the non-international based players, the players who aren't obviously been playing international football over the last few weeks or are currently still playing. Andy Irving, do you remember him? He's in. He will be reporting. He'll be reporting to Rush Green tomorrow as he joins up with his West Ham squad for pre-season training. Obviously, last summer transfer, really, isn't it? We acquired the Scottish international from Austrian Bundesliga side Klagenfurt for around £1.5 million, and then we gave him back, and it was believed it was in to set up almost like a down payment for a collaboration between partnership between the two sides. Nothing happened. There was no official announcement on the West Ham website or anything at all at the time. In fact, the only way we found out was through the Austrian Football Association and through transfer market and stuff like that. And that was only because we'd loaned him back. I mean, he's had a really good time in the Austrian Bundesliga. Scored a few goals as well for midfield, and obviously going into pre-season this week with no international players around, it's a real opportunity for someone like Andy to really put an impression on Lopetegui in terms of his work ethic, because he'll be working with a smaller squad initially until everyone returns and we start buying some people. So, look, good luck to the lad, and no doubt he'll be heavily utilised in pre-season as the rest of the squad return back from international duties. He's only 23, 24, so good age as well. So, although Jack Hendry looked 29, doesn't look 29, and I don't think Andy. I think they swapped their ages over. He looks more like he's pushing on 30, and Jack Hendry looks like he's more like 23, 24. Mental. Must be the Austrian air aging prematurely. And lastly, let's talk about investors. Now, it's a topic that's been on many people's lips. Obviously, there was the somewhat random news of Shaquille O'Neal wanting to look to invest in West Ham. That was sort of news to the ears of West Ham board, apparently, although I still think there was something in that in terms of maybe being approached from Rothschild with the David Gold shares potentially. We never know. We'll see what happens. But it does seem that our quest for investors has taken a potential snag, particularly if we're looking for investment from the US, who have already, guys like MSP, Sports Capital Liberty, 777 Partners, all previously linked with Premier League investors and takeovers, and obviously a number of American organisations, Todd Bowley, people like that, are already investing in Premier League sides. However, I don't think you'll be seeing any more investment from the US in the foreseeable future, at least, mainly because of a potential hike in US interest rates, which could significantly impact private equity firms in the US. And then in terms of investment, Premier League maybe looking at a little bit less of a sure hit in terms of looking forward in terms of investment. While there haven't been any sort of like confirmed approaches from US firms, we know that there's a number have interest and have been looking at West Ham as potential, as well as like Spurs and various other London-based clubs, particularly. But the rising interest rates could significantly affect the potential value of any deal. US private equity investor Greg Bettinelli has estimated that West Ham's value could be anywhere between 795 million up to a staggering 2.65 billion, according to Claret Hugh. So with the private equity route possibly taking a back seat, I can see us focusing in terms of investment, looking at more minority stake deals, selling off little chunks rather than a full takeover. Being a more sort of modest approach, a more staggered approach rather than someone wanting to take over the whole thing. And indeed, you saw the 777 collapse really of their investment proposal and takeover of Everton as well. So, although that wasn't as a result of the interest hikes, a similar thing could easily happen going forward. And that's it, my friends. As always, thank you very, very much for your time. Please go and watch our little interviews about our little pieces, our thoughts about the press conference yesterday. We also got Rashane Thomas from The Athletic to give us his thoughts immediately coming out of the press conference outside the London Stadium. Although it's a bit dodge because he ain't got a mic or anything, but he seemed very impressed with both Julien and Tim Stein. In fact, he said it was the first time he's actually sat down and been able to ask questions to Tim Stein as well. So hopefully that's the start of things going. Because I did like the transparency. You know, people might say it's BS. People say they're appeasing the fans, but it's the only like direct form of communication we've had from the new partnership, so to speak, rather than through mouthpieces, social media posts associated, or journalists associated with the board and things like that. It's actually, them sat in front of the press asking questions, and I thought it was very, very encouraging press conference. Anyway, until then, don't forget to check out these on brownforbrand.com for all latest news, reviews. ITK's on there, putting their 2 pence worth, who's going where, what we're going to do. Almost up to 150 players who've been named. I think 149. Who will be 150th? Will that happen tomorrow? Quite possibly. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody, bloody Irons.